It's time to show you guys how to create one of my absolute favorite effects in DaVinci Resolve, and that is the growing building effect. In this video, I will break down exactly how you go about creating it, along with tips to improve your overall editing ability. My name's Dan, you're watching DanVinci, and let's start the tutorial. Okay, so I'm in the edit page now and I have a shot of my building that I want to use and animate. Let's go on the color page with this shot, and what I want to do is go first into the node tree area and create a new corrector node. Making sure you've got your latest corrector node selected. You might just have one. Just Alt-S, this will create a corrector node. You can alternatively right-click in your node area and click Add Node Corrector, and this will do the same thing. Just make sure it's connected into your node tree area. Cool, so this is the node that we're going to be applying our effect to cut out our subjects. Now, there are two different ways that you can approach this. In my situation, I'm going to use the qualifier, as my sky is quite plain and simple and there isn't much variation in texture. So for example, if you have lots of clouds, a plane, it might be best to use the magic mask to cut out your subjects. But for now, let's use the qualifier. This is the qualifier. So what you want to do first is select your sky. You may notice it does a pretty decent job straight away out the gate. But what you can do is click the plus droplet tool and add more color, and this will get you a little bit closer. Now already that looks fantastic, but we can make it even better. So if you see the hue here, what you can do is drag the hue left and right. And what you don't want to do is drag it all the way in, for example, and get rid of your object. But I'm pretty happy with this. This looks fantastic. And using this little button in the top left corner, you can see what it's doing, and you can flick it on and off and make sure that it's cut out everything that you want. I'm just looking down here and just making sure all the branches are also cut out. Now, this works perfectly when there is a clear contrast between the subject that you're animating, so the building, and the sky. If that contrast isn't quite there, they're fairly similar colors, the magic mask is going to probably be your best bet, or even manually masking it out. I recently did a video here on masking that side. I don't know where the cards are. It's a good video, go check it out. Cool, so I'm happy with that cutout. How do I isolate the subject, Dan? We don't actually want to use this sky, we want to replace it. So down here, you'll see a little icon here. If you click this, it will invert what you've just done, which is fantastic. We now have a perfect cutout of everything that isn't sky. Brilliant. So let's right click on our node area, click Add Alpha Output, and let's click the blue square and attach it to the blue circle. This just means this cutout and this transparent layer behind it will show up in the edit page. So we're going to now jump into Fusion. Don't get too scared. It isn't actually that complicated, really. Follow step by step and you'll be fine. I'll hold your hand and guide you along the way. So before jumping into Fusion, let's right click on our clip, click New Fusion Clip, and then we want to jump into Fusion. Because if we jump into Fusion, it won't apply all of the effects that we've done to this shot. Cool, so we have our building in our Fusion node tree area, and I'm going to click F2 on my keyboard and just rename this to Building Cutout. I'm going to drag it up here and I'm going to click on this little icon here, which is our background node, and this will spawn in a lovely background node. And what we're going to do is click on the merge node here and click Control T, and this switches these two little green and yellow triangles around, basically switching the inputs so one layer is on top of the other. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go into the background here and I'm going to change this to a gradient, and I'm going to make this a nice bluish gray, because the sky isn't always perfectly blue. Fun facts with Dan. Because if we make it too blue, it doesn't look real. Now this gradient you can adjust, so I'm going to just move the top of the blue there and bring some of the white gray down here. There you go. Now I'm not really a fan of that initial color, so I might just make it a tiny bit more blue. There you go. Now of course you can add in fake clouds if you want, but that involves tracking, which I'm not going to do in this video. Alternatively, you could drag in a picture of the sky and use this, but I'm not a fan of that. I actually like the plain old sky, as in the fake plain old sky that I created with a gradient. Now, enough with all of that, let's animate. So step one of animating is isolating the subject you want to animate. What I don't want to happen is when I drag down and animate my building, it drags along the background objects as well. We don't want that, we want it to look as realistic as possible. Therefore, we need to isolate the main subject. So how do we go about this? I find the best way that you can do this is by creating first a tracker node, like so. This IntelliTracker, if you click on it and drag it down to just some point on your building, doesn't matter where, just needs to be somewhere, sort of in the center, maybe there on the creepy statue face. Then you want to click track. Let this do its thing. It should do it pretty well as long as your shot is got texture to it that isn't constantly changing. I find the IntelliTracker is quite good. Okay, so the IntelliTracker has finished and you can see a clear path that it's created. So now let's create a rectangle node and we want to drag this onto the blue triangle, which is our mask input of our actual shot here. Now this will cut out our object, that's fine. And I want to just make it sort of this sort of shape here. Now what we want to do is right click on our center, go down to connect to IntelliTrack path position. This locks it in on our subject, meaning as the shot moves, this square will stay center to our building, effectively isolating it, which is exactly what we wanted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these two shots here, Control C to copy, Control V in our node tree area, and I'm going to drag the output of this to the output of merge 1. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this rectangle and I'm going to click invert. So now we have two separate layers. If we click one on our keyboard, one of our subjects that aren't within the square and one with our subject within the square. So now if we go into the transform node here and create one in our node tree, drag this up and down, only that building moves. I mean, I'm just brilliant, aren't I? Just a poor, humble man trying to make ends meet on the big world of YouTube. Now we can actually animate. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start on frame 0. I'm going to create a keyframe for size and I'm going to create a keyframe for center, and I'm going to drag along the timeline and I'm going to go to probably frame 90, something like that. And I'm going to do the same thing again in the inspector on the transform node. Now I'm going to go back to frame 0 and I'm actually going to drag this down on the y-axis. Now at the minute, if we click play, this looks awful. The building's sort of growing sideways. We don't want this, we want it to grow in a straight line. A trick that I find is if you look at the building itself and make sure you move this point here, the point in which the animation starts. I drag this point over here so it's sort of parallel with the direction of the building. Now let's add some speed ramping to this animation by using the spline. So in the top right corner, just click the spline here, and what you can do is go to transform 1, which is the one we have all our keyframes on for the actual building. And as you can see, we have our keyframes here. If it's really zoomed out, for example, like you're all the way out here, if you click this button here, it should just zoom your keyframes in. So you want to select your two keyframes. You want to click S on your keyboard to create an ease in and an ease out curve. Click T on your keyboard to bring in the ease in and the ease out controls. And then you want to just sort of drag it out like this. You want sort of a curve, sort of C-shaped kind of curve like this, where it starts fast and then slows down. Now let's add some motion blur. So go into your settings on the transform node, click and go down to motion blur here. Turn this on and I just bring up the quality a little bit, something like that. If you're not seeing motion blur in your Fusion page, you might have it turned off. So right click here and just turn it on just there. Now you could park this effect right here and finish this all together because it does look pretty good. But there are little things that I like to add that make this effect just a little bit better. Now I like to animate my buildings with levels to them. As you can see in this building, there's the main section and then there's the spire that shoots out the top. And what's cool is you could cut this spire out and delay the animation so it appears out of the building like you see on screen here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, making sure I've got my rectangle square selected, I'm going to create a polygon 1 mask here and I'm going to manually cut out the section in which I want to animate. So in this instance, it's just this section here. And I'll speed this up so that I don't bore you to death. I've cut out the section of the building that I want to animate as a separate layer. So just here, you'll see right click here for shape animation. We want to make sure this is selected and I'm going to just move along my timeline, maybe to the very beginning. And I'm going to remove this transform node so there's no animation in place and we can see exactly where this building is in regards to the mask that I created. So I'm now going to move this along and I'm going to move these keyframes into position once again. Now if we move along our keyframes, this won't be perfect, but it will get us damn close. And I want to find a section in the middle of the two keyframes that we've created. I just want to move them once again into position. And I'm going to do this over and over again until this mask looks perfect. The reason I'm doing this as opposed to using something like a AI Magic Mask tool is because the contrast between this tower and the tower behind it is almost non-existent and I can barely tell with my own human eye. Therefore, Magic Mask is just not going to work here. But if your shot is a bit easier and let's say the building is made up of red and blue squares, then go ahead, use the Magic Mask. It'll save you so much time. You won't need to animate your masks for your animated levels out on the entire clip. It will only need to be done when the building is actually shooting up. So they're basically where the keyframes are for the transform node that you've created. Okay, great. I'm happy with that mask now. So going in the inspector, let's right click and click subtract. And there we go. We've got rid of that section. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put click back our transform in, so it's in place, and I'm going to create 3 different branches of the building cut out. Here we will have the bottom section of the building. I'm going to Control C and then Control V this and create another section, and this will be the middle section of the building that I want to animate, and then I'm going to Control C, Control V and create another section for the top bit of the spire of the building too. Great. At the minute, they're all the same, therefore the building flies up and there's a middle section missing. Let's fix this. So this section here is going to be the middle, so I'm going to invert this one. So if we just go into the preview on this one here, it will show just that middle section. And then let's click on the preview on this one. And what we want to do now is add a giant rectangle in between here. And then I want to go into the inspector, click on paint mode, click subtract, and I want to drag this down until it's only revealing. And because it doesn't really move all that much in this shot, it stays level, it means now we've created 3 different sections of the building, all in different layers of the tree. So I'm going to group these to make it easy for you guys at home. You don't have to do this. So Control G to create a group, and I'm going to call this bottom, Control G, F2, middle, and then Control G, F2, top. Cool, so we have the bottom section. Oh, sorry, I forgot a step.
This is awkward.
Just open up this by double clicking, and you want to do the same thing that you did with the top, but in reverse. So Control C with this rectangle, and we want to add this into the bottom. So Control V, we want to go in here and click invert. There you go. Now we have just the bottom. Going back to what I was saying, we now have the bottom, the middle, and the top all cut out within Fusion. This is perfect. Now, because all of these eventually feed into the transform node, all of them will move with the shot. Therefore, it looks like we've done nothing, but that's fine. I'll show you how to make it cool. Right, so as this flies up, let's find a point here where we want the sections of the building to start coming into place. So now what we want to do is go onto the middle, click transform, and we want to create a keyframe on the center, and we want to drag along maybe to about sort of here and create another keyframe. I'm going to go back to frame 30, and I'm going to move this part of the building down and bring it sort of to about here. Just here. Now you may notice the building section is in front of it. We want it behind. Easy. Just go down to the merge 3, click Control T, and it will disappear behind the building. So doing the same thing that we did with the transform 1 in the spline, let's add an ease in and an ease out curve. So I'm in the spline now, and I want to make sure I've only got the transform 2 node selected. If it's looking a bit messy like this, just click the 3 dots and click show only selected, and make sure you got it selected. Select the keyframes, click S on your keyboard, click T on your keyboard to bring up the ease in and the ease out controls, and just create a similar looking curve to what you made earlier. So as this comes up, the second section of the building flies into place. Now what you can do is do the same thing with the third section by creating a transform node, creating keyframes, and editing the keyframes in the spline. Don't forget to add motion blur like we did earlier. And there you have it. That is how I create growing building effects in DaVinci Resolve. You can add as a final node on your node tree camera shake. What you can do with this node is add a little bit of fake camera shake to your shot as the building rises, making it that little bit more realistic. Another thing that you can do is add green screen rubble assets, drag and drop them into your Fusion node tree, and use a node called Ultra Key to key out the green. That's how I added this rubble that you see on your screen. A final little bit of advice, sound effects. Go ahead, find online rocks and boulders sound effects, add them in, and it just completes this effect perfectly. I'd highly recommend some of the sound effects that I use. Links will be in the description. But anyway, that has been a very big DanVinci video. I know that there's a lot of information to take in for this video, but overall, it's actually fairly simple as a node tree when you get down to the finer details. My name's Dan, you've watched DanVinci, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.